Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 7th Annual Senator Edgar H. Price, Jr. Annual Achievement Award Dinner. This year, we are honoring a true shining star in our community, Ed Dick. Ed Dick is well known for his contributions to the community through his selfless devotion to the well-being of everyone, regardless of their race, creed, or socioeconomic status. Ed has willingly opened his home to those in need of shelter and served diligently on multiple boards. He has always strived to put the needs of others first. Ed, we will hear more about you as the evening progresses, but now I want to take this moment to talk about the Manatee County Rural Health Services Foundation. This foundation is dedicated to supporting Manatee County rural health services in a mission to provide the highest quality primary and specialty care and preventable health. Education to anyone who needs service, regardless of their ability to pay. The foundation's main goal is to ensure continued financial viability for Manatee County Rural Health Services, while also providing resources to help the underserved in our community and securing funding for capital projects and services. I am proud to be associated with the Manatee County Rural Health Services Foundation, and I believe the mission and the foundation are helpful to this community. And now I'd like to introduce Pastor Kapuras, who will lead us in the invocation.
Please join me in prayer. Our great Father, you are so good to us. Your blessings pour down from heaven on us day after day after day, and we are thankful. Lord, thank you for this great community that we live in. And we thank you for Manatee County Rural Health Services, the work that they do in this community. Thank you for the many people that they have touched through their work. And Lord, we pray that you will continue to bless them and the work that they do. And Lord, tonight we are here to honor a special man, to honor Mr. Dick. We thank you for the work that he has done in this community. Thank you for Ed and Joanne, the many, many lives that they have touched. And we pray, Lord, that as we honor him tonight, that you will be honored because of what you have done through him. And so, Lord, we are here together to celebrate, to feast together, to enjoy your goodness. And we pray that you will continue to bless our community richly through the people of this community. We thank you for your love. We thank you for the food that we're about to eat. We thank you for the great gift that we've received through Christ. And it's in his name that we pray all these things. Amen.
Thank you. Be seated. I want to introduce a good friend and a colleague, Senator John McKay, who serves as the chair of our foundation. It's my pleasure to work closely with Senator McKay as we all work together on the board to improve the health of the citizens of our community. Ladies and gentlemen, Senator John McKay.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Charlie, for that introduction. I would like to, as chairman of the board of the Manatee County Rural Health Services Foundation, I would like to thank each and every one of you for attending the 7th Annual Senator Edgar Price, Jr. Lifetime Achievement Awards Dinner. It's an honor to serve as chairman of the board because this organization and this event has a special place in my heart. Tonight, and every time we do this, it gives us an opportunity to honor an extraordinary individual for his or her contributions to our community. And I can't think of a better tribute than this award to honor those people who have helped us make our county, our cities, our community a wonderful place to live in. Tonight, we're going to hear a great deal about a man who truly deserves this honor, a man I really respect, Mr. Ed Dick. And that's why we're here tonight, to honor and pay tribute to a great individual. Before we do that, I'd like to take an opportunity to introduce the members of the board of the foundation. Please stand up as I introduce you. Sheriff Wells, Bruce Meade, Jeff Orenstein. Thank you all for being here, and thank you for your service. These gentlemen play a pivotal role in determining the course of our foundation so that we can assure that we appropriate the resources effectively in order to provide quality health care to everyone who truly deserves it, regardless of their ability to pay. The gentleman that's behind all of that, the gentleman that I would like to introduce now, is the CEO and the heart and soul of Manatee County Rural Health Services. It's my privilege and pleasure to introduce Colonel Walter L. Mickey Prochet. Colonel?
Good evening. Can everybody hear? Am I being heard? All right, good evening. I'm Mickey Prochet, President and CEO of Manatee County Rural Health Services. Welcome to the 7th Annual Edgar H. Price Jr. Lifetime Achievement Awards Dinner. This dinner is the primary fundraiser for the Manatee County Rural Health Foundation and is also one of the premier events that anybody holds in this community and any time annually. This dinner is truly a great opportunity for our community to come together, enjoy a pleasant evening, and honor a deserving individual. This year, we are honoring Mr. Ed Dick for living a life that is a shining example of philanthropy, volunteerism, and community leadership. We will be talking more about that later. But first, I want to take a few minutes to remind each of us why we are here tonight. We're here tonight because of that fantastic individual that graced my life some 40 years ago, Senator Edgar H. Price, my beloved friend and mentor. Senator Price hailed by all as a leader of integrity and compassion. Passed away in December 2012. Seems such a short time ago. I'm so proud that through this annual awards dinner, we can help carry on the legacy of a friend that meant so many things to all of us in the community. As many of you know, Senator Price wasn't just a friend and mentor to me personally, but he also looked out for Manatee County Rural Health Services as well. Senator Price will always be a special place, will always have a special place in my heart, and I find it difficult to believe that it's been nearly 2 years since his passing. Again, I don't want to lose sight on the fact that we're here to honor Mr. Ed Dick. And if you just pay attention, you'll see why he's being honored tonight. Let's take a look. On behalf of all of them, sir, I now salute you.
Well, how do you say thanks to what's happened here tonight? This is the most sterling moment in my lifetime. And I've been to a few and had a few awards, but never anything like this. And I particularly appreciate, in addition to those you've just seen on this video, appreciate what they had to say, but to every person who's come here tonight to pay tribute not only to me, but also to the best healthcare organization in the state of Florida, as far as I'm concerned, and that's Manatee Rural Health Service and our new foundation. I want to join with what's been said about the foundation and about Rural Health Service. And I hope that those of you here tonight, if you have not been acquainted with rural health, that you will take the time to visit one of the sites, contact one of the people in charge, and find out what rural health is all about, and that you'll understand that giving to this foundation, which will support rural health, will do so much to aid and assist, particularly those who are less fortunate than many of us. I know that I've seen it happen so many times, that a mother and a child badly needing medical care but have no money whatsoever have been able to go to rural health and get that care that they need. Or watch those of a family that have very, very little and are expecting a child and receive the wonderful care that they through rural health. And I just have enjoyed having a little bit of relationship with them, and look to do everything in my power in the future to help them continue to help the community. And may I say to each one of you at every table out there, I had a chance to speak to so many of you that I haven't seen in a long time. I love you for coming, and you've really, every one of you, have just put an extra beat in this old 90-year-old heart. And I don't think I'm deserving of any of this, but I do want you to know that I appreciate it, and I'm enjoying it, and there's no way in the world that I could give back enough to Manatee County and the state of Florida for what they've given to me, and it's been a privilege to have a possibility of sharing a little bit of it. And I just deeply thank every one of you and all of those involved for this evening, which has made my life a more wonderful life than ever before. Thank you.
So Ed and Joanne, this is your night, and named in the honor of a special man, my hero, Senator Price, a solid man, a dedicated, committed, and genuine hero. I think we're supposed to see a video now, a short video of Manatee County Rural Health Services. So Charlie, can we take a look?
In 1978, community leaders saw a healthcare need for those in rural parish. Because of their efforts, Manatee County Rural Health Services was founded. 36 years later, with vision, leadership, and dedication, Manatee County Rural Health Services has grown to serve over 94,000 patients, providing them with nearly 470,000 office visits last year. Community residents can come to one of 29 service locations knowing that they will be seen regardless of their ability to pay. With a network of nearly 100 medical providers and hundreds of clinical staff, we serve Manatee, Sarasota, and DeSoto counties. Our commitment to our patients is unparalleled, and we're proud to have received the Joint Commission Gold Seal accreditation for the past 17 consecutive years. And we are now certified as a primary care medical home. Our physicians are dedicated to ensuring patients have access to comprehensive, quality health care, including specialty care, throughout every stage of their lives. We are the largest federally qualified health center in the southeastern United States. Manatee County Rural Health Services receives less than 10% of its funding from federal grants, and for every dollar we receive, we provide $4.47 worth of medical services. Manatee County Rural Health Services actively participates in community health fairs and screenings, including vision, dental, diabetes, and cholesterol, identify health issues for many who might otherwise go undetected. This year, Dr. George Van Buren joined up with clinical and support staff to donate their time and talents to provide free sports exams to over 400 Manatee County students of all ages. We partner with many community service organizations, such as the Veterans Stand Down Program, and provide health care services to those in need. Our case managers focus on the whole person, often teaching patients how to help themselves. Our dedicated staff saw over 10,000 patients last year. We understand some of our patients are on tight budgets. Every client of Manatee County Rural Health Services has access to reduced priced medicines. Beyond these savings, the staff works with national drug companies to continue to make needed prescription drugs obtainable. Manatee County Rural Health Services is on the cutting edge for community health care centers. To ensure that we reach our entire community, we expanded our mental health services. This year, we moved into our new administration building in Palmetto. And through grants from the Florida Optometry Eye Care Fund and the Blue Foundation, we were able to purchase 2 mobile clinics that provide care to our patients throughout our service area. Last year, local hospitals diverted approximately 65,000 non-emergency patients to our facilities. The cost savings to taxpayers is over $34 million over the past 6 years.
We are a healthcare system that continues to anticipate and meet the needs of our community. I believe that our growth confirms what I know to be true, and that is Manatee County Rural Health Services is and continues to be an invaluable community asset, one worth coming to for your health care needs and one worth supporting.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to reintroduce Mr. Mickey Prichet along with Dr. George Van Buren.
Good evening. Hope you enjoyed your meal and hope you guys enjoyed the silent auction items, and we'd like to thank everyone who contributed those lovely items to us, and all that money goes to our foundation. What I'd like to be able to do today is to, again, thank the Manatee County Rural Health Services Foundation for singling out one of our patients for some assistance. The young lady's name is Anya. She's 9 years old, and unfortunately, she couldn't be here tonight with us. But I have some good news. Last night, she received a phone call to go to Gainesville for a transplant. And she went into surgery this morning, and she's out of surgery, and her heart is beating well. And so just want to say that. And so thanks to the foundation, we're able to provide Anya with a check. And unfortunately, she couldn't be here, but I wanted to show you the check. And here it is. And again, thanks to the Manatee County Rural Health Services Foundation for the generous contribution. If you want to find out more about this young lady, you can go to this website, helphopelive.org, and her name is Anya. If you type that in, and you'll find out more about her story. And so again, I'd like to thank you very much for all of your support here tonight and supporting the efforts of Manatee County Rural Health Services in the community.
Thank you, Dr. Van Buren. Dr. Van Buren, I think everybody knows, is one of the guys who came to us as a young scholar, and we would all like to replicate him many times over for all the things that he does in the community. Not just only being the medical director and a great pediatrician, but a great human being. I think that you can see that the foundation is truly giving an example of how we work diligently to support the kind of things that Dr. Van Buren just demonstrated. $10,000 to a family that's in dire need to travel back and forth to Gainesville to obviously support their daughter in the transplant. Now I'm going to let me take a moment to introduce some very special individuals, some people who serve at no remuneration to themselves, but they do a Herculean job of supporting the senior leadership team and all of the people that are employed at Manatee County Rural Health Services in its mission. Before I do that, though, I just happened to see one of my great friends and the last year recipient, Dr. Graham. Welcome. Board Chair Gary Lowe. Chief Gary Lowe. Dr. Carlos Mendez is probably someplace in Hawaii having a great time. He's our vice chair. Also one of our first pediatricians. Secretary and Treasurer, CPA, Mr. Steve Welker. Okay. Immediate past chair, Ms. Juanine Lowry. I don't think she's here. Board member and past Secretary Treasurer, Livia Leva. Board member, Esperana Gamboa. Esperana. Judge Tom Gallen. And board member Reginald Rosado, and board member Lynette Edwards, and board consultant Mark Lazarus. Then I want to thank some very special people who've done a great job of getting us assembled here tonight and pulling off this great event. Ellen Adams and Samita Johnson and a team of volunteers. Jeffrey McNeil and Paul Tong and the finance volunteers. Floyd Hill, IT guru. Patrick Carnegie, Sharon Hong and Scott Works. And of course, the people who've taken a lot of stress off me in the last couple of years, Grapevine Communications. And finally, well, not really finally, but next to final, our great friend and supporter, Charles Clapsaddle, and METV. Thank you very much, Sir Charles. And finally, I want to recognize somebody who's been with me now for just a few days or maybe a week shy of 30 years. And she started as an executive secretary. She became administrative assistant. I know she's not going to like me for doing this. And now she's a special assistant to the president and CEO, Sylvia Camerini. And now it's time to turn to the main portion of our evening, our tribute to Mr. Ed Dick. It is truly a pleasure to honor a man who is so dedicated to being such a community leader and a man who's done so many great things for so many people. To begin, we have a brief video of several of Mr. Dick's close associates sharing their thoughts and feelings about him. Let's take a look.
According to the tennis great Arthur Ashe, true heroism is not the urge to surpass all others at whatever cost, but the urge to serve others at whatever cost. The man I introduce is a true hero. He has had crosses burned in his front yard. He has crossed the tracks of the Manatee River to register ethnic voters. He has spent countless hours serving dinner to the homeless and raising money to house them. He has been chided by his wife for bringing home people instead of stray animals. He has been called chink lover, N lover, and I'm sure countless of other lover names. He has sacrificed himself and his family for his faith in God and the good of others in his community. He has set a monumental example, and I can only strive to be like him. So, Dad, thank you for lending me a heart of service. You greatly deserve this accolade and many more. I feel happy and proud to call you my dad, and my admiration for you and your service is only exceeded by my love for you.
Good evening. My name is Pastor Ted Tillis. You know, it's amazing how during our lifetime we come in contact with thousands of people, never remember their names, nor the circumstances of those meetings. However, there are a few special moments in life when we meet individuals and remember both the place and circumstances. Ed, believe it or not, you are one of those individuals. Over 40 years ago, I shared a pulpit with you at St. Andrew's Church in Palmetto. Never met you before, but as I listened to you speak with that unique voice of yours on the character and life of Moses, I was very much impressed. Once you finished, I gave you a glass of water. Yes, I remember those details. I thank God for the friendship that has developed over the years. Ed, you have truly impacted the lives of many, including mine. Over the years, it has been a great pleasure to work with you on many different community boards. It is because of community-minded citizens like you that Manatee County is the outstanding quality area in which people choose to live and work. For all you have done, will continue to do in the future for the citizens of Manatee County, I salute you for the outstanding leadership you provide. Always know the character of your life and very fine leadership makes a difference. Apostle Paul wrote, "In a great house there are not only vessels of gold and silver, but vessels of earth and wood. Some bring honor, some dishonor. Ed, you're one of those honorable vessels. My thoughts and good wishes are always with you. May God continue to bless you and your household."
Good evening. My name is Veronica Kunovac. I came to the Bradenton as the refugee with my husband Isaac, our daughter and son, 1996 from Croatia. We came as the refugee from Bosnia, Sarajevo. We were just one of the several hundred refugees from many different countries who had the privilege, benefit, pleasure and blessing to meeting Ed, Dick and his family. Dick's family was a part of my imagination in my prayer before we ever decided to come to United States. At our first meeting in 1996, when we met Ed and his grandson Aaron, I know God answered my prayer. I know that we will have happy, successful life in this new land as we do now. Ed and John supported us, helped creating conditions that we can succeed. They fully involve us in their family life. I observed them from many different circumstances and events, unique Christmas. I observed them in the way which they are involved with the loving kids, the way which they play with the grandkids, the way which they take the grandkids for vacation, the way which they support Boys and Girls Club, Bradenton Christian School, how they are involved in active church life, how they support Guardian Angel, how they support Volunteer Salvation Army, how they add with the hips pain before surgery, 2 days before surgery, cleaning table after dinner for homeless people, and how he was happy to distribute happy dollar to kids. I called their house, open house, 24/7. Thank you, Ed, for being my American father, the only father that I haven't loved. Today, I'm so happy to join this celebration of the lifetime caring for special lifetime compassion for Ed Dick.
Good evening. Ed and I have known each other for a long time. I can recall playing softball against him. Ed was a pretty okay player. After a number of years trying to beat each other, Ed recruited me to join his team. We became friends. Then, to my surprise, Ed, Joanne, and their children joined our church. My wife and I were happy to build a friendship that has lasted these many years. I will tell everyone that Ed is a giver. Ed and Joanne have given their entire lives to helping others. He has been very active with the Salvation Army. He has served on their board of directors for many years. Ed has worked in their food kitchen and served meals to the many homeless individuals in need. Their door is always open to people in need. No matter the color of their skin, red or yellow, black or white, Ed would treat all the same, knowing they were created in the image of God. He was very active in our community as we worked our way through desegregation. Ed and Joanne even found burning crosses in their front yard, but they never gave up. They have an African-American adopted daughter, Christine, who came to them homeless and distraught. She graduated from Bradenton Christian School and now served in the armed forces of our country. Ed soon realized that many homeless children came from broken homes. The children were separated and sent to different foster care homes. He had a vision to build large foster homes in order to keep siblings together under one roof. He was a leader in establishing guardian angels locally. He helped raise money so the guardian angels could purchase a plot of land and build 2 large houses on the site. They plan to expand the ministry by adding more homes as funds become available. I want to pause at this point and tell you a story. One Sunday afternoon, I received a call from Ed. He said, "Don, I have this young boy standing in my living room. He is a refugee from Vietnam. He seems afraid." Ed gave us a proposal that we take this boy into our home and give it a try. Marilyn and I never even considered anything like this. After all, we already have 5 children, and I asked Ed if we could take time to pray over this, and we would let him know. We went to church later and asked God to give us an answer. We came home from church, called Ed and told him we would be willing to take this boy on a trial basis. Ed had told us that he would take him back if it did not work out. I recall going to Ed and Joanne's house to pick him up. He only had a small paper bag containing all his possessions. Fast forward. We took Hip Trong into our home and introduced him to our children. Ed stayed in touch with us almost daily to see how it was going. Hip could read English, but could not speak it. He had to go to an elementary school with second graders where he would learn to speak English. Eventually, Hip graduated from Braden Christian School and Central Florida University with a degree in computer science. Hip is extremely grateful for Ed's help. They still communicate regularly. In recent years, Ed has struggled with health issues, but he never gives up. Ed, with the help of his dear wife, Joanne, continues their ministry to help others in need. I could go on with more stories about Ed and Joanne, but I will end by saying again, Ed Dick is a giver.
Good evening. My name is Frida McCoy Bellamy, and my aim is to speak briefly about Mr. Dick. The many contributions of Mr. Dick in Manatee County and the surrounding areas are most likely known by all of you. Therefore, I would like to tell you about informal encounters that I have had with Mr. Dick that have made me respect him for his humor, his integrity, and his compassion. One day, he asked me why I always called him Mr. Dick and not Ed. I told him that when I was growing up, my parents taught me to always call adults Mr., Mrs., or Miss. I was told that when I became an adult, I could call the person by his first name, but I still had to use Mr., Mrs., or Miss. Mr. Dick's rapid response was, "Just don't call me Mr. Ed." In the 60s, he was a horse on television. Hence, he is my friend, Mr. Dick. When I first met Mr. Dick, I was struck by the contradictions that marked his very appearance. There was a gleam in his eyes that made me think of our depiction of the twinkling eyes of Santa Claus. But the words he spoke made me think that he was not Santa, but perhaps he was one of Santa's cantankerous elves. I later learned that he was neither one nor the other, but a wonderful blend of both. That glint in his eyes shows that he is a people person who is forever thinking of creating positive outcomes for all people, but especially for the young people of Manatee County. In board meetings, Mr. Dick, the cantankerous elf, is not above letting out a deafening scream to silence others and make a point. If his idea, for whatever reason, is not accepted, the twinkle never leaves his eyes, making others wonder if he is okay with the rejection or if he is plotting some form of retaliation. Mr. Dick, the Santa Claus, however, usually calls me immediately after such an encounter to tell me, "I made them think, didn't I?" Don't tell anybody, but I want to make a donation toward the effort we were discussing. Once, when we were in a heated discussion, I called him an irascible old goat. There was silence, and I thought, oh my, I've really overstepped boundaries here. The next thing I heard was loud, roaring laughter. He later told me that he had told all of his friends about the remark I had made. Santa, elf, goat, activist, humanitarian, friend. Mr. Dick wears many hats well.
When Ray Bellamy from Lincoln Memorial High School took the field at the University of Miami as the first African American to sign at a major university in the southeastern part of the United States, Ed Dick was the catalyst in making that happen. And Mr. Dick did that because it was the right thing to do. During the turmoil of segregation and integration, even when a cross was burned in his yard, Ed Dick stood up to the racism and hatred and helped usher in a new era of understanding and brotherhood. And today, he still stands tall for equality and justice because he knows that's the right thing to do. When refugees from Vietnam and all around the globe needed a place to go and a roof over their heads, Mr. and Mrs. Dick opened their hearts and their home to provide a safe haven for the homeless and the oppressed, and encouraged many others to do the same. They became mother and father, mentor and friend to so many. Their family is truly global. And they did this not because they had to, because they knew it was the right thing to do. When the need for foster care and foster care facilities became critical in our community, Ed Dick and a committed core of caring individuals stepped up and created Guardian Angels, and the vision of providing homes for those foster children became a reality. And Ed Dick didn't do this for fame or fortune. He did this because it was the right thing to do. Anything that Mr. Dick puts his mind and his heart to, if it's the Salvation Army, the Palmetto Youth Center, his church, or the countless other organizations and individuals that he has guided and helped, he's always done it for the right reasons, because it's the right thing to do. However, to recognize Mr. Dick without recognizing Mrs. Dick is a shortcoming. She is truly the wind beneath his wings and a continuing inspiration to him and so many others. However, I'm pretty sure that both God and Mrs. Dick realize that Mr. Dick is not always the easiest person to deal with. But I know that I'm a better person for knowing him, and I'm sure that many others in this room feel the same way. Wherever there are the hungry, the homeless, the poor and the needy, the sick and the hopeless, Ed Dick has always been and always will be there because he knows that it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, that may be the most, in fact, that is the most impressive testimony I've ever heard about any individual in my entire life. And personally, I would like to thank you for all that you have done for so many. I'd like to introduce Commissioner John Chappie to make a presentation.
Mr. Dick, sir, it is an honor here to represent the Board of County Commission and Manatee County residents to read this proclamation. Whereas Ed Dick's life exemplifies the selfless devotion to the well-being of all mankind, regardless of race, creed, color, or socioeconomic status. Whereas his life is a shining example of philanthropy, volunteerism, and community leadership. Whereas the aftermath of the Vietnam War, Ed Dick and his wife, Joanne, organized Refugee Inc., which through the help of churches, volunteers, brought over 700 refugees to safety in Manatee and Sarasota counties. And whereas he has demonstrated his outstanding care and compassion by opening his home to over 250 refugees, homeless children, and youth. And whereas Ed Dick continues to exhibit the dedication to our community by recently founding Guardian Angels of Southwest Florida, Inc., through which funds are raised to house abused, neglected and or abandoned children. Ed Dick continues to answer the call to public service with grace, dignity, and determination by having served on countless boards and being the recipient of numerous awards and honors, and for that our community has been enriched. Whereas with great admiration and respect, and sincere gratitude for his dedication to the community and service, the Manatee County Rural Health Service Foundation honors Ed Dick. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commission of Manatee County, Florida, that on October 2nd, 2014, shall be known, designated, and set aside as Ed Dick Day in Manatee County, Florida, and was adopted by a quorum and voted on the 23rd day of September 2014 and signed by our chairman, Larry Bussell. Sir, thank you so much for being here in Manatee County and serving our community.
I've had the privilege of knowing Ed Dick for over 20 years. And just like everyone else here, I am impressed by his commitment to helping others regardless of color, race, creed. Particularly, I'm impressed with his desire to help children that are in need of a home, particularly those in need of residential group care in lieu of foster care. I'm absolutely in awe of Ed and Joanne's generosity in sharing their home and their resources and their lives to help so many. I've never known anybody like Ed Dick. Their lifelong journey, Ed told me a story that I'm not going to share, but, well, I will share it. He said that he was told that he should pursue a young lady. He told me this the other day. And he said, well, she's very pretty, but she's not as pretty as her sister. And that's Joanne. Their life is filled with love, not just for each other, but for everybody. That love manifests itself in that selfless commitment to helping others. They're role models that we should all strive to emulate. Ed told me not too long ago that life is filled with joy and it's also filled with pain, and he shared some of those stories with me. Tonight, Ed, I'm very pleased to tell you there is no pain. There is only joy. And it's with that joy that we now recognize Ed Dick as this year's winner of the Senator Edgar Price Lifetime Achievement Award.
Sit down, please. Thank you, John. Appreciate it.
On behalf of the foundation, it's my privilege and it's my honor to present you this award.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want you to know that this afternoon, because this was such a prestigious event, I shaved my ears. The reason I'm dressed in what I'm wearing is because it's a testimony to our lives. A girl showed up at church and her boyfriend was in jail for stabbing somebody, so she came to live with us. And one day she said, Ed, our store is having a great sale. You need to come down. So I went down, and this is my $9.99 coat. The shirt was given to me several months ago on my birthday by a refugee family from They're Chinese but came from Cambodia. Now there's a story I want to tell you about. I'm going to tell a lot of stories till they shut me up. Over 100 years ago, a congressman from Washington went to the Crow Indian Reservation in Montana, and he promised them a new hospital, he promised them new homes, he promised them new schools, and each time he promised somebody, the Indians would do a little dance step and say, gala gala, gala gala. When he got through, he said to the chief, I'm a connoisseur of fine cattle, and do you mind if I inspect your herd over there? And the chief said, fine, but don't step in the gala gala. Since so many of my versions disagree with so many versions you'll hear tonight, I hope that you don't think that I'm telling you gala gala. I would never, with my voice, have had a successful career as an obscene phone caller. Some days you are the pigeon, other days you are the statue. Tonight I'm the pigeon, tomorrow I will be the statue again. I want to thank Mickey and his board for this recognition and to compliment them on their national reputation. We are honoring Ed Price tonight, who was a mentor, my mentor, the mentor of so many in this room. His alter ego with us is his former secretary, Ann Moon. Would Jim and Ann Moon please stand? Get up. Ed Price once said that he could scribble a few words on the back of an envelope, give it to Ann Moon, and she would turn out the most incredible letter. And I appreciate her. I also want to thank Charlie, John, and Sharon Hall, who put together this event and put up with me annoying her. I think Mickey needs to be recognized just as I was, just as Angus Graham was, just as Pat Glass was, for all that he has done. He earned a Silver Star, he earned the Purple Heart and the Legion of Merit, all while he was in Vietnam. Now, the last three people from voter registration in the 1960s are here tonight. If Charles and Artemis Larry would stand up, and Elihu and Laura Wallace. Let me tell you about these two men. First, Charles was the leading home run hitter in Manatee County. He did terrazzo work and was so good that he was asked to speak at their national convention. Elihu was, when I was on the school board, Joanne and I gave our salary back to the schools as I visited them. One day I came to a school and there was a boy with a hat on. I said to the principal, "What are you letting a kid wear a hat?" He said his mother is in prison because excuse me, I get emotional, because she beat him with a ball bat, took boiling liquid, poured it on his head, and he had no hair. Well, we found a surgeon who was experimenting with hair transplants, took little squares, put them on the top of his head, and Elihu, with a beautician that he found, gave this kid the most beautiful afro you've ever seen. I want to tell you my favorite story about voter registration. Clifford Bacon and I were in Rogers Project beating on doors. That was Rogers Project, for those who don't remember it, was for lower income people of color. And we knocked on the door of a gentleman named Mr. Pete. Nobody came to the door. Clifford opened the door, went in, he knew Mr. Pete. He came back and said, Ed, Mr. Pete is sitting on the head, constipated. And we looked at each other. One of us, I don't know which one, said, let's go. So we went back to that little cubicle. He put the paper to register to vote on his leg and registered to vote. Now, this did not work the way I wanted it to, but we got, on each of your tables, there were to be put 6 or 7 or 8 Dear Chick Lover letters. We got this at the same time a small cross was burned in our front yard. The McClure family got a written threat to blow up the office building, which they co-owned with us. Now, all of my stories are going to vary from what these other people tell you. We brought 700 people to Manatee and Sarasota County with the help of 70-some churches and thousands of volunteers. But I would like all the Bauer family to stand up now. Up, up, up. Now, the way, you can sit down now, the way he tells it is not the way that I tell it. We had had several hundred refugees come, and he called me. This is my version. Pay no attention to his. He called me and he said, Ed, we would like to take a boy. And I said, there is not a snowball's chance in Gehenna, which, since I never use 4 letters of words, is Jewish for hell. So I've used a 4-letter word. And he called and said they wanted a boy. And I said, we haven't had any boys. And within 2 weeks, who shows up but Hip? And I go to Hip and I say, Hip, I found a home for you. And he wrapped his arms around me and said, don't send me away. He was 14 at the time. He had lied to get out of refugee camp as far as his age. He said, don't send me away. I said, look, you go, and if you want to come back, you can come back. It's 33 or 4 or 5 years. I'm still waiting for him to come back. Now, the other thing that you were to have on your table was letters involving Raymond Bellamy, who was the first person of color, I was given the responsibility of recruiting him for the U. Don't pay any attention. I thought Gene Brown was coming tonight. He is not here, but Gene is a Florida alumnus. Joanne keeps trying to teach our stupid parakeet to say, what do we eat? Gator meat. So my son-in-law, Carl Week, Shauna's husband, is going to take my body to Miami so that Gene Brown doesn't head north to Gainesville. Anyway, Raymond Bellamy got on Little Lincoln High School, which is where I went in Palmetto looking for talent. They had 5 kids in that little high school capable of playing professional football. 3 of them did. 3 seniors, a junior. The junior I also took to the University of Tampa. If you hear that Bear Bryant integrated college football, that's a crock of Gala Gala. All 4 Florida schools had integrated before the University of Alabama had. Anyway, I picked Raymond because he was president of the student body and had the grades. He also, of the 3 seniors, he also ran for president of the student body at Miami, which at the time had only 13 students of color, and he was elected president on the his slogan was, "It's not a white thing, it's not a black thing, it's a people thing," which I thought was tremendous. Now he got all this hate mail, dear Ann threatening him. Against Auburn, his sophomore year, he started out on the field with his helmet under his head, and somebody from 5 feet away hit him with a big rock, so he played the whole game with a knot on his head. The third sheet you might have here is irrelevant information and history. Now, let me see. I want to recognize those who, and my wife and the 4 children who could be here. First, Charles Clapsaddle. I'm running late. I knew it, but once you get me in a row, I don't know how to quit. Charles Clapsaddle, if 50 years from now, people want to know about Manatee County in this era, all they've got to do is go to their library. And Charles has told our history so well. Now, that's a good side. I want to tell you the bad side. When he got honored by the Palmetto Youth Center a few years ago, he introduced half the world. I mean, half the universe, not the world. So I'm going to introduce the other half of the universe tonight. Let's see. What's new? I'm missing a couple pages. Okay. I won't introduce the other people who were kind enough to honor me. For instance, Ted, and Dawn. Appreciate it, but let's get to my family. Several months ago, a pastor used the Bible to prove in our church that all angels are masculine. Let me tell you, that's a bunch of gala, because I'm married to an angel and she is sure not masculine. Before we got married, my mother asked how she would handle my anger. She said, I think it's cute. Now she says, love is blind and I was stupid. I'm still dealing. Okay, I want to take our 4 children. Reed's here, Shauna's here. Would you stand up? These are our 2nd and 3rd children. We had in our house several members of the Princeton Theological Choir. One was a prince from Nigeria. He looked at Shauna, who was a beautiful 13-year-old at the time, and said, when you grow up, I want to marry you. And Reed looked at him and said, by the time she grows up, you'll be dead. We never heard any more. And then one day there was silence in the front of our house. And that was strange in our house. So I went up to the front bedroom, knocked on the door, opened it. Here is Reed looking uncomfortable. Here is Shauna with her head turned like this. And we had a foster daughter, Kim. And what I did not know was Kim had run a knitting needle through Shauna's ear because we would not let her get her ear pierced, and blood was shooting out, and Shauna's trying to keep me from seeing the blood or the knitting needle. Kelly, stand up. This is our 6th child, and go ahead. We have a home that we own with Carl and Shauna in West Virginia, and it's 5 miles from the state game farm where they have all the animals that were in West Virginia, for instance, mountain lions, bison, and wolves, which are not there. So, Kelly, we're by the bison, enormous pen covering 2 hills and a valley. And Kelly said, and here she disagrees with me. Everybody disagrees with me. I cannot believe how a nice guy like me can tell so many lies. Anyway, Kelly said she asked if she could pet the bison, which is in a screen wire, and loose. And I didn't say that. I said that she could go up and look at it. So she goes up. That bison goes from 0 to seconds in 2 seconds, 0 to 60 in 2 seconds, and Kelly all of a sudden is flying by me. And then Aaron. Aaron is number 8. Number 7 and 8, depending on age or joining the family. Thank you, Kelly. Anyway, he flew home from Germany to be here tonight because he was touring Europe. And my favorite story about him and then some of you aren't going to get recognized. I'm hurrying up. He was playing basketball at Bradenton Christian School as a junior, and he got butted in the head, and he went in the restroom, and the restrooms there are absolutely horrible. And he sneezed, and his eye popped out. So help me, that is true, is it not? His eye popped out. What had happened when we took him, the ophthalmologist, was it had cracked his nose, and when he sneezed, the air went through that crack and popped his eye out. Fortunately, he pushed it back in right away. Now, I swore when I could walk again after surgery that I would chase Joanne around the bedroom. And then I thought, what in the world is an 85-year-old man going to do if he catches her? I've got some really good stories that I can't tell because I've been warned I'm taking too long. I am so blessed, more blessed than anybody, particularly with the woman I married, and all of you, so many of you who are old friends, that I want to wish you to have the same blessing that I have had in all of my life. Thank you, and God bless. Sit down.
What a great tribute. An honor to have Ed Dick be with us tonight. We enjoyed your stories. One day we'd have to get Charles Clapsall and come out and get the rest of them. Somebody once said that it's nice to be recognized, but it's also nice to put a little money on the table. So Ed, in appreciation for all the things you've done, the foundation wishes to give or contribute $10,000 toward one of your passions, which is the Guardian Angels program. Is Bobby here? Bobby Price. Here she is.
I want you to know that she married her husband for his mouth.
For all of the great things that you do towards providing safety and security to children. On behalf of the foundation, we give you the real check for $10,000.
Just on behalf of the Board of Guardian Angels and all those who have contributed so significantly to getting Guardian Angels going, I just want to say a very heartfelt thank you. This $10,000 will go a long way in helping us build homes for foster children. We have just started our third home. We have 2 homes that have already been built in Palmetto on our Minnesota campus. These homes house 5 to 6 foster children that are siblings. And it's such a blessing to be able to keep sibling groups together. We also have 25 foster homes that are a traditional foster home that are housing about 50 children right now. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you to Ed and Joanne and the founders of Guardian Angels who had such an amazing vision to be able to provide care for these hurting children. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Again, Ed, thank you so much for doing so much for our community. And thanks to everybody who attended this occasion tonight. I will now turn the microphone back over to Charlie Wells, who will say goodnight to all of us. Again, thanks for coming.
Thank you, Mickey. Well, I hope all of you here tonight know how special you are. We thank you so much for coming here. Your presence tonight has helped Manatee County Rural Health Services finance other projects like the ones you've heard for Guardian Angel, the one that Dr. George Van Buren talked about. Congratulations, Ed and Joanne. You're special people. I hope the best always comes to you because you have given your best to others. Good night, everybody. Check for your silent auction bids. Check out front at the registration desk.